So, what does it take to forge a nation? Well, for ancient Britain, the answer was centuries of migration, invasion, and cultural collision. Today, we're going to jump back in time and explore that exact story, from the island's Celtic roots all the way to the arrival of the mighty Roman Empire.
And that really gets to the heart of it, right? How is a nation's identity forged? Because the story of Britain isn't just some boring list of dates and battles. It's this incredible, dynamic story of transformation. Think of it like one culture just being layered right on top of another. Okay, let's dive right in. Before the Romans ever even dreamed of setting foot on the island, Britain was already home to this vibrant and really complex culture. We're talking, of course, about the Celts, who first started migrating to the island around 800 BCE. So these Celtic tribes, we collectively call them the Britons. And you gotta understand, they weren't this one single unified nation. No, they were more like a collection of different peoples who shared languages and customs, and they really formed the very foundation of pre-Roman British society. And don't for a second think their society was simple. It was anything but. They lived in these amazing fortified settlements, organized into tribes, each led by a chieftain. You had skilled farmers and herders. And then you had the Druids, this really influential priestly class who acted as judges, teachers, and keepers of tradition. They preserved their entire history through incredible oral storytelling and poetry. And for centuries, this was pretty much how things were. But then, something huge appears on the horizon, a real game changer that would alter the island's destiny forever, the formidable Roman Empire.
So in 43 CE, Emperor Claudius decides it's time to bring Britain into the fold. The Roman legions land, and let me tell you, the Britons put up a fierce, long fight. But, the Roman war machine was just relentless, and eventually they established control.
But here's the thing. Rome's arrival was about so much more than just soldiers and conquest. They brought with them a total societal overhaul. I mean, we're talking a complete Roman makeover for the entire island.
Just look at how they reshaped daily life. They established organized cities like Londinium, what we now call London. They laid down this incredible network of ruler straight roads and introduced their own architecture, their own laws, their own language, Latin. This wasn't just a conquest, it was a fundamental rewiring of their entire society.
And man, did they move fast. I mean, think about it. Just a few decades after the invasion, major cities like Londinium were already up and running. By 120 CE, less than a century in, they were already starting these absolutely massive engineering projects to lock down their new territory.
And if you want a perfect symbol of Roman ambition and power, look no further than Hadrian's Wall. 80 miles long. Just try to wrap your head around that. This thing wasn't just a wall. It was a massive stone statement, a line in the sand that screamed, "This land is Rome."
But as we all know, no empire lasts forever, right? And after nearly 400 years, the Roman grip on Britain starts to loosen, and the time finally came for the legions to pack up and head out. That big moment really comes around 410 CE, when the Roman military officially withdraws. Imagine, after centuries of Roman protection and rule, the whole military just leaves. The people there, this new mix of Celtic and Roman culture, were suddenly left totally vulnerable. It created this huge power vacuum. And that just set off a chain reaction. You see, the whole Roman Empire was starting to crack, so legions were being pulled back from places like Britain to go defend other frontiers. This left the island totally defenseless, and that was like an open invitation for new groups, Germanic tribes like the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes, to start sailing across the sea looking for new lands. And this new wave of migration? Well, it kicks off the next profound cultural transformation. Yeah, the Roman chapter was closing for good, and a new one, the dawn of the Anglo-Saxons, was just beginning, setting the stage for the next phase of Britain's identity.
So, just like the Romans left their mark with things like roads and laws, the Anglo-Saxons came in and added their own, completely indelible layer. They set up new kingdoms, they brought their Germanic customs, and maybe most importantly of all, they brought their language, Old English. And that is the direct ancestor of the English that you and I are speaking right now. Pretty incredible, right? So, when you step back and look at the whole picture, it becomes crystal clear. The story of early Britain isn't really about a single people at all. It's a continuous cycle of these cultural encounters, of conquest and change, where each new group added another fascinating layer to the island's identity. Which kind of leaves us with this one final thought, doesn't it?
From the Celts to the Romans to the Anglo-Saxons, Britain's story has always been one of constant change. It really makes you wonder, what will its next chapter be?